Hi friend, welcome or welcome back. This is Rana in the World, and here I love to share gardening for food and for wildlife, adventuring, exploring, and getting outside. That sounds like something you'd be interested in. Please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so that you know when all my future videos come out. Today I'm planting a beautiful redbud tree in my front yard in memory of my late adventure buddy, September Daisy, and we picked a really special tree for her, so let's get into it. I'm talking to you from the future. Here it is. First thing to consider when you're planting a new tree in your yard, first is what kind of space are you working with? Are you working with a smaller space in which you might want to look for a variety of a tree that's not going to get as tall, or what are sometimes known as understory trees, trees that in the forest would only get to a certain height, and they are comfortable living under the shade of other trees. So that is what I picked for my yard because I didn't have, as much space to plant, say, a big tulip tree or a big oak tree. You need a much larger space in order to plant a tree like that. Also thinking about what kind of visual you want, what type of, what visual you want your tree to bring. I was thinking about having flowers in the spring and a nice color of the leaves in the fall. So that was why I picked this particular variety of the Eastern Redbud Tree. And so today I'm at the garden center to look for some plants and maybe even pick up a new tree for the yard. Hi, back from the store now and ready to get my plants out. And I'll show you what I got. I got a tree, 2 shrubs that are going to be for the vegetable garden, and some ground cover. Reason that I picked this tree is that I really was interested in planting a native plant for my front garden. Including native plants helps bring benefits to wildlife and enhances the natural beauty of your yard with lower maintenance. What is a native plant? Native plants, there are many different definitions, and I can link some articles below helping to explain it, but in essence, a native plant is a plant that co-evolved with the other plants and animals in the environment around it. It's a plant that would have naturally grown in the area where you're living hundreds, thousands of years ago. Before plants from other parts of the world were introduced here in Ohio, I'm looking for a plant that would have grown in what was Ohio before Ohio existed. And one of the main reasons to do that is because of the interactions between the different species in the world. Thinking about having beneficial insects in my garden is something that I want. I want it not just for me because it's going to help my fruits and veggies grow, but I also want that to help continue the ecosystem and just provide habitat for things like bees and butterflies and other things that we just need in our environment. I want to provide some habitat for them in my space, and it can look beautiful too. So one of the other great things about planting a native tree is because it's used to growing up in this environment, it usually needs less work in order to keep it alive than something that's non-native. Let's say I wanted to plant a palm tree or banana tree in my front yard. We get tons of snow, we just don't have the right environment for that. It's going to be really hard to keep that plant alive. If I pick a plant that is well suited to this environment, it's more likely going to survive and require less fertilizers and be more drought tolerant, more tolerant of the types of climate that we have here. So that's why I was interested in planting a native tree. If you are also interested in that, you can go to the website gonative.com, which will help you get ideas of what plants might be native in your area. All right, let's talk about how to plant a tree. If you've never planted a tree before, it's really not that complicated. Essentially, you need to find a spot, a good spot, thinking about how big and wide your tree is going to be, making sure that you've got enough space in your garden to accommodate that tree once it gets to its full height. You want to have it offset a little bit from a building, so you don't want to plant a huge tree right next to your foundation of your house, because eventually those roots are going to keep on growing and growing, and you don't want to impact any buildings on your property. So thinking about having a good space for it. You're gonna dig a hole that is about twice as wide and just as deep as the little pot or root ball that the tree comes with. And that's because you want to loosen up the soil around where the tree is going to be, so that it's easier for those roots as they're just starting to emerge and grow out, to get out into the soil in your space and expand and grow and be healthy and well rooted.
Hi, you gonna help me? Yeah.
So after you are digging your hole, I'm looking for a hole that's about 6 inches wider than the diameter of my pot. And I want, in order to make space for the roots, I want to add some compost to the hole, mix that with the existing soil, and then placing my tree, I'm going to position it a little bit, make sure I like the orientation, make sure I think it looks good and looks pretty, and then start filling back in with a mix of that compost and a mix of the original soil that was there. Depending on your soil, you may have to add some amendments, but that's really just going to be specific to your soil. If you want to dive deeper into that, you could take soil samples to your local extension office, and they'll help you figure out what it is that your soil might need and help you test your soil. I got you, babe. You want to look at the tree with me? Let's go stand. Let's go stand back and look at the tree. I like the orientation. I like the branches that are like this way and that way. Let's see. From this angle, looks good. I'm gonna take the little shovel. Might be faster. You'll put the dirt in? Yeah. Okay, to do it, put some dirt in. Then you want to water your tree in. Once you've got it in, soil's down, you want to add some mulch on top. Try not to volcano the mulch up around the base of the tree. Trees, just like us, they need a little space to breathe, so give them a little space around the base of the tree. Think of creating a donut as opposed to a mound. You know, give the tree a little breathing room with your mulch, and then water it in well. About a 5-gallon bucket's worth of water a day as the tree is getting established. Obviously on days that it rains a lot, you water less. Days that it's really hot and dry, make sure that you're doing that watering, especially early morning, early evening, and then you should have a really successful tree. Picked a great tree, it's beautiful, it's gonna take root, and it's gonna be great. Lastly, I'm thinking about how to make this tree a part of my existing landscape. So for our front yard, we had an existing border garden around the front walkway. I had some help from a landscaper, busy mom, I don't do all the grunt work, to enlarge the garden bed to create space to add this tree in. So that is how I incorporated it, and I'm gonna have flowers and things planted around the base of it in order to make it look a part of the landscape. And you'll see when I show the after shots that it really comes together quite well and looks beautiful in combination with the other flowers and plants in the yard. I also added a little memorial statue for my dog September. Insert some cute dog pictures here. I had so much fun just getting out, getting in the dirt. Had my little one out there for a bit with me. He picked up a shovel and didn't want to let it go and was helping dig the hole. All in all, it was a super fun day. I love planting the tree, and I love that it's a special way for me to remember my dog September. Thanks so much for spending the day with me planting a tree for September. I know that her spirit will live on, and this tree will bring me so much joy every time I see it. If you like this video, please like it and let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more videos like this about pollinator-friendly gardening. I will share a video linked in the cards below with another one of my garden videos that you can watch until my next upload. Again, this is Raina in the World. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.